Welcome back. We are in Chapter 8 with meeting objections. Addressing concerns, I was going to say meeting objections, that's the same thing. Addressing concerns and earning a commitment, okay? And addressing concerns, the backbone for that, oh, by the way, part 3 is actually the longest part of this book, okay? Make sure you're on it. I know y'all probably maybe took the week, I mean, obviously take last week off for spring break, probably the week before that. Get in it this week gives you, it's not this Sunday, but the next Sunday is the next reflection paper. Part 3 is pretty long. Relatively speaking, it's not a very long book, period, but if you're a slow reader like I. We are going to continue to address things relationally, okay? And for that, we're going to use Lark. Lark! I want to put 3 A's. What is Lark? Listen. Anything, I've told you to listen, right? Again, the stereotypical, stereotype of a salesperson is that you're there to talk. Are you there to talk? Negative. You are there to listen. You are there to listen. And what are you listening for? Keys to the kingdom. Okay. What kind of keys to the kingdom am I talking about? Well, think back to my first example. The guy in the hardware store with the fertilizer bags. I could sell him fertilizer all day long, but I only sold him truckloads of fertilizer after I listened to what? His problems. Because the only way you're going to sell something is if your product or service solves a problem. All right? And once you listen to that problem and they give it to you, you acknowledge it. I can't remember if it's acknowledgement or acknowledge. So what you're saying to me is I understand your key frustration in your fertilizer sales is that the last bag gets busted, you lose all your money. Yes, that is correct. Now have I put some ammo in my holster to be able to sell this guy something? Yes. All right. Then you assess. All right. I understand then that your problem is this busted bag on the bottom of a pallet. How can I address that? 1, I require cardboard to enter that bottom bag. Number 2, I guarantee that bottom bag. I have a plan to try to convert this person. See, here's the thing. Most prices, you rarely are just rolling in there with the ability just to beat their price. You're not Walmart. In general, you'll probably have a higher price. So you're going to have to be able to convince them to pay a higher price for what? More quality. Okay? So listen, get the problem, acknowledge the problem, establish it with them, because the worst thing you can do is assume here. That says acknowledge, not assume. You understand their problem, you assess how you can address it. All right? Then you respond. Here's what we're going to offer. I'm going to put cardboard on every one of them, and even if it gets busted in, because sometimes a little forklift can stick in there and stab the bag anyway, because people are careless at their house or at their place or whatever. It gets spilled everywhere, and then we're right back to where we started. Here's how I will respond. I will guarantee that every bag won't be busted. If they do get busted, here, take these, put them in that. I'll pick them up, refund you, you get your money back for that bag. Okay? And confirm, does this solve your objection? Does this adequately address your problem? Now, sales resistance. We're going to spend the rest of the class basically, well, a little bit at the end on something else. But Exhibit 8H, which is techniques to answer sales resistance. Will you face resistance in sales? You bet. You bet you will. Some people will be offended that you even showed up. Have you ever been busy? No, not upperclassmen. You've never been busy. Have you ever been busy and you have a friend, a loved one, or something that just won't leave you alone? How does that make you feel? Resistant. your chances are you're going to be going in, calling on a doctor, calling on a hardware store, calling on somebody you're trying to sell software to, whatever. And you are not on their itinerary that day. Do you understand that? So you need to be looking and listening for cues that say, today might not be the day. Let me give you an example. When I was a pharmaceutical rep, every now and then, government or whatever hospital system would require an office to learn a new software system. So everyone from the first person you see, who may be as sweet as Miss Nancy up front, all the way through the doctors, the nurse, and when they discharge the person, is learning a new computer system. Is that the day to go in there with your sales hammer and beat them to death? Negative. You know what I used to do? When I would walk up to a practice and they would say, please be patient, they would literally put a sign on the door, please be patient with us, we're learning a new system today. I'd walk up to that office and see that sign and do what? Back to the car. Sometimes walking away is the best sell you'll ever make. And it was actually on a Friday afternoon, and I was on Keel anyway, and I packed my trunks in the little trunk. So I just went on out to the beach a little earlier that day. But there was a Roper Hospital System urgent care out there that I was really wanting to sell some allergy meds to. And I saw they had that sign that says, please be patient with us today. We are learning a new system. Get the HE double hockey sticks out of there. Get the hell out of there. You're not going to sell them anything. Is that good situational awareness? Yeah. If you pull up to your account and there's blue lights out front, gonna sell them. Get out of there. If you pull up and they have a sign that says death in the family, get out of there, send flowers. Okay? If you pull up and they say quarantining, get out of there. Okay? If you pull up and they have a shotgun, get out of there. All right? These are just my disclaimers. I'm getting it out of here by telling you to get out of there. Okay? Sometimes it's strategic to live to play another day. You understand? We're going to be talking about, right after this exhibit, cues. Body cues, language cues, hearing stuff that says, hey, I'm ready to make a commitment. There are also other cues that tell you to get out of there. Okay? So, it doesn't say this in your textbook, but I'm going to add it. Do not be afraid to get out of there. Okay? Big part. Bail. Because the only times I can remember I tried it when I was in contracts and the dentist, I flew right by that sign. I went in there, oh, let me tell you about this big sales thing, and they're looking at me like, I hate the world right now, and you've just walked into oncoming traffic, so here we go. To this day, they probably remember me there. There's probably a picture of me behind the counter saying, do not let this guy back. I've made this mistake, don't be like me. Okay? If everything in your gut is telling you to get out of there, then get out of there. Okay? Now, sales resistance beyond I'm going to kill you if you try to sell them to me now, right? That was get out of there. And they go through a little examples here. You okay if I just read directly from your book and we summarize it on the board? You okay with that? I don't want to insult your intelligence, but I'm going to read from your book. The example. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to be tired of this. Many of my customers have had a concern going into my presentation that we do not have a warranty program. So let's say we're selling some kind of product, roofing or something. Let me put this to rest. That we have 1, 3, 5-year warranty programs that match our competitors. I hope this answers your concern. So you were going in there and your competitor already told, they would never do this, right? Well, you don't want to go with Rodney. His company doesn't stand behind their work. Do you think that happens? Is that a form of sales resistance? Okay. Sales resistance. Okay? Take care of the objection before the prospect brings it up. It's called forestalling. Thinking ahead. What's good and bad about having a competitor? Well, bad, you hope you wouldn't have a competitor and you get a monopoly in that market, right? But what's good about having a competitor? Everyone always thinks, I don't want to screw up, but what if your competitor screws up? So let's say I'm the customer, Rebecca. Andy just came in and said, we're dealing with, what product you want to sell? I got to start turning this class over to y'all so we can have some fun here.
Bigfoot statues. Perfect.
Bigfoot statues?
Yep.
Okay. Bigfoot statues. They came up with this, not me. Okay. Bigfoot statues.
No, maybe that one. Yeah, whoever got me this, it's a bottle opener.
Okay, Bigfoot statue bottle opener. All right. Andy just came in and gave me her pitch about Bigfoot bottle openers. That's not a real big market, I guess. Maybe I'm a bar or something. I don't know. And she says that you won't stand behind your product.
That's a big statement, Andy.
I was okay with my competitors making big statements. I really was. Because once you make big statements, you've got everything out there that they just show me their hand. What do you think she's trying to sell everyone on? Because you both have these bottle openers. What is she telling everybody now? What's her game? Your warranty. What do you go in talking? Hey, I'm Rebecca. I'm here representing XYZ Bigfoot, whatever. That's a unique example. I never would have guessed that. Okay, XYZ Bigfoot company, and I'm trying to sell you this product. Okay, and I hear our competitors are saying that we don't stand behind it. Can I show you our warranty program? Did you just blow her out of the water? Yeah. There's this thing called first mover advantage, where if she made the first sales call, she has a first mover advantage in that she set the tone for it. But is there a second mover advantage? Yeah. Now you know her strategy. Okay. If you go in there, now if you listen, you might find that their quality might be, a big concern. If quality is a big concern, then standing behind your product would probably be shortly behind that. All right? But don't feel like you have to get everywhere first. She's a go-getter. She's out there at every call at like 8:30 in the morning. You're more of a 9:30 person. Literally, right? Okay? Did you see her move, though? It's kind of like chess. There's like this philosophy that the first move sets the tone for the rest of the game. I kind of have an opposite opinion on that. While it may set the tone, it doesn't. Moving 1-2 squares doesn't really change the game. It does give me some indication of how you want to play the game. And she wants to play it on quality. You can do forestalling. You can think ahead. You can. It's actually beautiful. The hardest part is going into somewhere and thinking about what to say. She's giving you a topic. Circle takes the square, but okay. Now I know where to go. You just cut through all the small talk. They're all about quality. But you're listening. You're listening to not only your customer, but also your competitors. Okay? Your competitors in that situation made it easier, even though your product is a little wonky. Bottle openers. On a personal level, though, if I was selling bottle openers, I would have to demonstrate it, and I would be opening bottles, and the type of bottles you open with a bottle opener, you can't really leave them open, so you need to consume them right there. So that'd be a pretty cool job. I think we all think. We're not talking Yoo-hoo, are we? Who opens a Yoo-hoo with a Bigfoot bottle opener? Use the generic one for that, right? The little tomato can popper. All right. So what are the forms of, this actually plays right into that. Forestalling means you start there. You thought ahead. This is your launching point. Then you have two choices. Direct denial. All right. Will be the first one. So direct denial. Give a rather harsh response that the prospect is wrong. You have heard incorrectly. We're not raising our prices. If she said you're raising your prices. Or we do have a warranty. Did you hit it head on? Okay. Head on response. Positive, you get down to business. Get right to it. What's your negative? Pretty aggressive. The worst thing you can do is have a fight with your competitor through your customer. Now, if you're pretty funny about it, maybe it's funny. I've done that before. But that's not a good look, is it? It's not a good look. Because then you say something, and then she hears about it, and she's listening, and she comes back and says something, and then eventually y'all just end up pulling each other's hair out in the parking lot. I've actually seen fist fights in the parking lot of a business before.
Have you had something like this happen?
No. Closest I had to a fight was that guy chasing me through the parking garage at the Sumter Hospital, thinking I had Viagra and all I had was Nasacort. I told y'all that story, didn't I? Okay, story time with Dr. Keesler. Okay, I'm a rep, pulling my little bag. I'm in Sumter at the hospital. There's like a little 2-3 level, kind of like that garage down there downtown, by Upstate and all that business school, by Chapman. I'm going back to my car. This guy was in the waiting room. I don't know if he was with somebody or what. I didn't stick around to find out. And I had a medicine now over the counter called Nasacort. It's a nasal corticosteroid you spray up your nose, helps with allergies. I'm actually taking a lot of it right now because of grass and the city trees blooming and everything. It's not the COVID, it's just allergies. Okay. It has blue packaging that is eerily similar to Viagra, or at least it did when it was in samples and stuff. It looked very. I mean, if you got close enough, you realize that's a nose medicine, not a medicine. Okay. This guy didn't realize that. Follows me out of the practice. It's like a general, like a general practice, like internal medicine or something. Just follows me. And I got a little bit of radar. I don't know what kids are on. And reps do get jumped for the samples. It happens. It's thousands of dollars worth of stuff. Okay. I pick up the pace. I got long legs. I run without running. You understand? Okay. If you ever see Cheap Lip dragging behind me, I'm going somewhere. It's like 15 steps from me. Okay. Every one of those 30, 45, 60. He trips every time he runs too. This guy's, I get to a point where I'm in a light jog. He's in a light jog. I'm in a run. He's in a run. My car. Pop the trunk, put the crap in there, get out of there. He's chasing me. He said, "Hey man, give me some of that Viagra." You know what ran through my head? Any guesses? What was going through my head? Huh?
What the hell? Yeah.
No, Jurassic Park 3. Why Jurassic Park 3? Remember when the kid took the Velociraptor eggs? Oh, come on. Y'all seen Jurassic Park 3. Somebody save me here. This college kid, he thinks it'd be cool to take home some Velociraptor eggs. Well, the Velociraptors start hunting the people because they want their eggs back. Okay? And there's a line in there where Sam Neill, the main guy from Jurassic Park 1, okay, he's back in Jurassic Park 3. I think it's 3. And he says, I literally started doing the mental calculus on this. I could have just told the guy, listen, I have allergy meds. And maybe he'd have gone on, but he's kind of like a Velociraptor stalking. And I started to think, well, what if they find this? What if they find me with it? What would happen? We take it, right? What if he finds it without it? Finds me without it? The line from Jurassic Park. It might kill you anyway. So just get the hell out of there. That's the only confrontation I've had of that level in a parking lot after a sale. But if you two are going back at each other, it may end up differently. I have seen fistfights over blood pressure medicine in Summerville, South Carolina. I actually was well positioned. I had snacks. I was sitting in my car. I rolled down the window so I could hear the verbiage. Just watching. Okay, it was very entertaining. I've seen it. Direct denial. It's gonna be hard to edit later. I think I might leave that story in there. That's for your own edification. Okay. Forestalling, going in, thinking ahead. Direct denial. She said what? Okay. Indirect denial. Okay, what's the difference there? Indirect denial. Soften the blow when correcting a prospect's information. So the information that me, the customer, got from her, you're not saying, oh, you're like taking earrings off and everything, you know? Okay? You say, we have heard that rumor too. Even some of our best customers ask us about it. Our senior management has guaranteed our prices will hold firm through the rest of the year. So she's telling you your prices are going to go up for this product, and you were just saying, oh, no, that's not true. That's not true. I mean, direct denial is like, she's lying to you. Indirect response, hey, we've heard that rumor. I've double checked with our management. That's just not the case. Now, if you don't know if that's the case, should you say that? No, because the last thing you want to be doing is lying to a prospect. All right, they won't trust you. Another way that you can do this is you can offer a translation or what's called a boomerang. How do you spell boomerang? That's not a word I spell a lot. There's only one R. There's only one R. Boomerang. I learn something every day. I would have guessed boomerang. It feels like there's two R's. That's really a boomerang. Don't get me started on orangutan. Okay? You've had that problem. Turn a reason not to buy into a reason to buy. Huh? How am I going to do this with this product? And we're talking about price and warranty here, right? The buyer says, your company is too small to meet our needs. What's the disadvantage of being small? Maybe less offering, less quicker delivery. What's some advantages of being small in someone's business?
Lower prices.
Bigger guy usually has lower prices because they can take a hit on one product and you can't. Let's say you have 3 products and they got 33. Can they go lose money on one of their 33 to knock out one of your 3? Absolutely. What's the advantage of being small? SMC does this as a college. Think of it in terms of ships. What's an advantage of a small ship versus a little ship? You don't know anything about ships? They can maneuver. They can maneuver. Can a smaller business, nice job, can a smaller business outmaneuver a bigger business? Can a smaller college outmaneuver a bigger college? Can a small college say, you know, we think we're going to create a 4-year program now, and we're going to do X, Y, and Z? Yeah. What does a big college or a big program have to do? They have to go through this red tape. They're more nimble. Okay, so a smaller business, let's say a small versus large business. Small business is more nimble. And the big thing here is more personalized what? Service. If I'm a small business, do I have 1 million clients? I have a handful, maybe a dozen. Can I do the very best job taking care of that dozen versus like having 1,000? Yep, that's exactly what happens here. Your buyer says your company's too small to meet our needs. Salesperson can respond, that's just a reason you won't do business with us. Huh? Take a reason why they're saying they're not and boomerang that bad boy back. That's why you want to do business with us, because we are smaller. You will get individual attention you said you wanted. Okay? Can Walmart give you individualized attention? I'll walk into your family's hardware store and I'm looking for a particular type of nail or screw or something. Your family gonna like dive behind the counters like they do at Walmart to hide, or are they gonna come meet me and say, "Oh, it's right over here"?
And if I touch it for you.
Probably would. They would literally walk with you to where it is. That's personalized service. That's the advantage of being a small guy. Yeah. Huh? You know where it is. I got a Lowe's. I got a Home Depot. People are like, "Oh crap, that guy's looking like he needs help. Let me get the heck up out of here." Because they're big, they can hide. You've been there? I've been there. Hell, I was there this weekend. I was just looking for garden seed. Everybody's like, "Ah!" You know, just throw it. That actually looked pretty cool. Look, I actually threw myself across the. Here I go back. Ah! Okay. That one's not so much. You can still see. But Literally, the big guy, Lowe's, they're hiding from anything. I'm on break. You ever been in line at like a store and they're like, turn off your light and you already put crap on the belt? You're like, I'm on break. I was like, well, you're going to take a break of your break because I got like half my crap on this bill already. Okay? Small family owned grocery, they doing that? No. Boomerang that bad boy. Translate a reason not to buy back to a reason to buy. Compensation. Everybody loves compensation, right? Unless people are compensating something. Okay? All right? You know what I'm talking to. All right? I counterbalance the objection with an offsetting benefit. Okay? Too much? No. Okay? Or you ain't watching it anyway. Yes, our price is higher. It says small people might have a higher price, right? So let's say you're a big company, she's a small company, right? Okay? Yes, our price is higher, but you are going to get quality you said that you needed to keep the customers happy. Back to the warranty thing. Our Bigfoot bottle openers don't break, and if they do, we guarantee it. You addressed the concern. You said, hey, yes, you're paying more, but once you pay more for quality, I have learned as a consumer in this world that you get what you pay for. I do not buy T-bone steaks out of a refrigerated tractor trailer in the Westgate Mall parking lot. Curiosity got the better of me. I went over there and looked. Okay. I don't know what kangaroo they butchered to make that T-bone, but that ain't beef. I grew up on a cattle farm, friend. You ain't getting a ribeye for like 37 ribeyes for $20. That just ain't happening. Okay. I'd rather go over to Tate Meat Works and get me a good fillet. You understand? It ain't cheap. But when okay, sorry about your Presbyterianism or whatever you're doing. Pescatarian. You still pescatarian?
Currently vegan.
Currently vegan?
Yes.
Man, you all over the map. How do you got like a cooking show? How do you do that?
Just cook. I don't eat the food, so everybody else eats it.
Actually, that's a pretty solid relationship then. All right, that'd be like if you went to McDonald's. Anybody ever been to McDonald's with their significant other and they're like, I don't want any fries, I'll just eat some of yours. I'm like, give me 3 supersized fries because I actually want my fries. Because that is a trap. Admiral Akbar, he's a trap. You know, that's a trap. You been there? I've been there. All right, my current wife, that's how it was. We always blew up Wendy's like a little dollar. What's it? Wendy's what they call it? They used to call it the menu, the little cheap menu. 4 for 4, that all kind of stuff. You know, when I was in college, that was my jam. I'd go up there and one of my 4 would be French fry, right? We and say, oh, I don't have to get French fries now. I can eat yours. Give me 4 French fries. Okay, and then I'll order another 4 for 4, and then she ordered her 4 for 4, and then we can split the fry. All right, let's don't buy it. All right, I need to be compensated. My fries. I've been there, done that. Good for you. I was the good teacher.
Too skinny. I need a fatten him up. Lost a lot of weight.
Why is he losing weight? He's doing a cooking show with you and he's losing weight. Yes. You don't eat anything? What's he got to take one? Tell him one of these weekends I'll take him down to the farm. We got the shot. We give the cows. They'll take care of that tapeworm. Okay? All right. Can't have beef cattle on tapeworm. Think about it. Cattle, you want to make them big, right? Okay. Anyway. Compensation. Counterbalance. Yes, our price is higher, but you're going to get the quality you said that you needed to keep your customers happy. At the end of the day, you want your client to have their customers happy. So whatever product you're selling, it needs to be good. Now, questioning and assessing. We're getting there. Sorry. This ties directly into here, right? Okay. Questioning and assessing. Your concern, so ask the buyers assessment questions to gain a better understanding of what they're objecting to. Are you trying to assess to understand, to gain knowledge on what's really the problem? Because you could spend your whole sales call, Rebecca, talking about Andy and either indirect denial and miss the entire point, because you can say what's really important to you, and you're like, yeah, I could really care less about this, about price. I just want my customer to be happy. Tell me how your product is better than hers. So you can either spend the next 10 minutes talking about your product versus her, or talking about your product addressing their need. Okay? Your concern is price. Can you please tell me who you're comparing us with, and does their quote include any service agreements? Oh yeah, you know what? Andy was just in here, and she said, you know, they have a similar product. I'm kind of indifferent between the two. You educate me then as why your quality is much better than hers. But you know, she spent a whole time talking about how y'all don't stand behind your product, but she never actually told me that they have a warranty item. Now that will be a direct denial.
Well, there.
And then you can indirectly say, you know, it's very disappointing that someone would present that on me and then not present their own. You got me? Okay. All right. Third-party reinforcement.
Sponsored.
Kinda. Testimonial maybe? All right. Third-party reinforcement. Use the opinion or data from a third-party source to help overcome the objective. You know, and this, they get really specific in this example. Bill Middleton from Dial Electronics, or whatever, Dial hardware store, or whatever, had the same concern going in. Let me tell you why he's more comfortable with our product, with our service. Let me tell you about how this, yeah, okay, we've been down this road, but let me tell you how we help Spartanburg Regional if you're selling to President. Let me tell you how we help Junkins Hardware versus Edmonds. You know, I mean, that matters. Because companies do a lot of benchmarking. Well, you know what benchmarking is? It's honestly a big thing that, I don't know if I spend enough time in entrepreneurship on it, but it was on there. Benchmarking is when you look at other people's businesses and you say, you see what they're doing, what you like about it, what you think's working, what's not working. Okay?
Oh, we did that in paper.
Huh?
We did that in paper.
Yes, we did. Good. That means I did it. Okay? All right. Benchmarking is very big in business. You can learn a lot from other people's mistakes. You can learn a lot about how they're doing things well. You can learn a lot. Don't you think that some fast food restaurants watch Chick-fil-A, how they've been able to go out in the parking lot with the little order thing and order?
Yes, you know what? I think that does. Because I go to takeout after, because I get off so late, and that's the only place open, and they literally say, my pleasure. They've been saying that now.
That's benchmarking. They're stealing from other people. Benchmarking is legalized plagiarism in business. I'm not saying you do that as a salesperson, but you can put them in touch with someone who has had her call on them and you successfully sell them against her. And you can say, let me talk to this guy, Bill, or let me tell you about Bill. And it might get down to it, you have to refer them. Some of my best sales are really like, who was it? A lot of pro golfers live on Hilton Head Island. Golfing's beautiful, it's pretty exclusive, you live on gates and stuff. A lot of pro golfers also have hunting lodges. Okay? They have these hunting lodges, these plantations that they set up to go deer hunting in the fall. And year-round, they put seed in the forest to be able to attract Bambi over there so you can, BAM! Shoot it. Okay? That may offend you as a vegetarian. Okay? All right? Davis Love III. One of my clients. Then you can see. Had a contact, town of Hilton Head, I think it is. Can't remember if it's city or town, but it's town on Hilton Head that I delivered truckloads of fertilizer to. Give me a recommendation to Davis Love III. Go to sell him a deer mix. Got a plant on his plantation. We went out there to see him. I thought he stood us up. Right there, going nowhere. Beaufort County. Oh, Hilton Head. We hear. Homie comes in on here, helicopter. Says, yeah, I need this and this and this for that. What do you recommend? Recommend this? Okay. Sold. Back to Hilton Head. That was a hard flex. He ain't Tiger or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like a, No offense, Davis, but you know, I mean, that is a hard flex. I was impressed. Okay. Third party reinforcement, talent Hilton had got me that sell, and it wasn't even the same thing. So testimonials are big, huge. Okay. They can either be direct or indirect testimonials. That was a direct testimony. I'd say, hey, call so and so at the town. They'll reinforce them. I'll just like run what I bring. Or you can say, hey, let me tell you a story about this other place we're dealing with, and Andy told them this, and we're doing this, and here's how the outcome. Okay, testimony. Kind of making you look bad in this whole example. We can too much. No. Okay. Third party reinforcement. Feel, felt, found. Feel, felt, found. Okay, what does that mean? Feel, felt, found is a salesperson relates that others actually found their initial opinions to be unfounded. Okay, so they're further down this. So you said, all right, first mover advantage, she set the tone. Second mover advantage, you know her strategy. Chances are that's probably a strategy given to her by her business. And she's doing that in other places. And other places have been through this process already. It's kind of like third party reinforcement. Listen to this. The buyer says, I do not think my customers will want to buy a product with all those features. We generally sell scaled down models. Okay. Salesperson says, I can certainly see how you feel. Let's say Lisa down the road in Louisville felt the same way when I first proposed that she go with these models, this particular service, this particular product. However, after she agreed to display them in front of her store, she found to feel. She feels a way. She feels that this might be the reason why our customers are going to do it. She felt strongly about it, which is why she moved on into a different direction. And then she found that her customers are starting to buy models with more features, and that in turn provided her with larger margins. In fact, she called me less than a week later to order more. Perfect example of this in a hardware situation are grills. Griddles, Blackstone griddles. I love Blackstone griddles, and that's my spot now. Oh man, I'm cooking everything out there. Okay. I paid more for one that has the air fryers underneath. Why? Because I can make smash burgers and frying up French fries at the same time. Okay, I got sold that. At first, I didn't think I needed all those features. I feel like I want a griddle. I felt like I didn't need those features, but now I have found that it's really sweet to have all three. Does that make sense? 2 air fryers. You can dump into a warmer, which is the third drawer, while I'm also cooking burgers up top. Nobody will straighten up into that. Thank you. Okay. No? I know your household. They wouldn't let you watch that. Definitely don't go try and tell them it was my idea. Okay? I'm not leaving. In fact, I'm staying. That's it.
Because Tom Hall posted it when he got back all in summer.
Yeah.
So.
Feel, felt, found. Your customers may feel a certain way being influenced by your competitor. You've got to make them feel different so that they can find that their customers actually want that. The place I bought that Blackstone from had learned that those more features are a differentiator. They're differentiators. They're a huge differentiator. Okay? You don't, it's so funny because we talk about this in entrepreneurship, we talk about this in economics, people making choices. You don't understand your customer until you get out there with them. All right? That's why you can't keep a new business idea a secret. You got to actually throw it out there at your end user and say, hey, what do you like? What do you not like? It's a lot less expensive to fail early than late. Because if you put all this time and money into something that nobody wants, that's a true failure. If you're 5 minutes in and you say, hey, who's pops? Okay? I'm like, yes, do it like this, I do that, and I'll buy it. I probably told you 2 things that you didn't think about, okay? And it changes your whole business model. Does that make sense? Okay. You need to feel, felt, and found. And lastly, coming to that. Coming to that. We're coming to that. I told you there was a lot of them. All right, coming to that. Coming to that, the salesperson tells the buyer that he or she will be covering the objection later in his or her presentation. The buyer says, I have some concerns about your delivery dates. Remember we said we're smaller, so somehow we can't deliver as well as, I mean, you're not going to beat Amazon Prime getting delivery on something. All right, but you might beat them on quality. Salesperson, I'm glad you brought that up. Before fully discussing our delivery, I want to go over a couple features that you said were important because you were listening before. And that will help you better understand the product. Is that okay? Now, why did they bring it up? Say, hey, I'm going to get to it, but let me go through this first. Why did they do that? First of all, they were listening to say, hey, quality matters. So they want to address quality, okay? If they didn't ask, is it okay for me to skip ahead on that and then come back to it? What do you think's happening if I'm a salesperson and I just blow past your one concern about delivery? It looks like I'm just not even going to address it. Does that make sense? But you have to sell them on why your product is so much higher quality, okay, than your competitor to establish the justification for maybe waiting another day for delivery. Does that make sense? But if you jump straight to this without addressing their concern about delivery and acknowledging and say, hey, we're coming to that, it makes it look like I'm not going to address it. What you got to do is tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. Okay? Because if your one disadvantage is it takes you an extra day, 2 to get delivered, that's what your competitor is going to handle repeatedly. But how you have to defeat that is where you had the advantages, which is the quality of your product versus theirs, and then say, at the end of the day, your customer is going to have this product in their hands. And theirs is going to break and not stand behind it, and mine's going to work every time. Do you want customer A who's upset or customer B who's highly satisfied? Customer B who's highly satisfied. Who cares if it took 2 extra days to get there? Because I guarantee you, if they got a product that's continuously breaking, malfunctioning, service that's not showing up, those 2 days aren't going to matter. All that's going to matter is that product didn't work. So we're coming to that. All right? Now, looking for those cues. What cues are we looking for? Favorable commitment signs. Favorable commitment signs. When your prospect, when your customer, okay, and the biggest thing, and then the book does a good job of this, is saying, hey, your prospect, that's your sales prospect. You should also be focused on their customer. Because if you're a good business, you want your customers in use to be so good they keep coming back to you. As a salesperson, it's tempting to say, hey, this hardware store, this IT supplier, this doctor is my customer. Are they really the customer? Who's the end user of the product? Their customer, their client. So if you serve their customer and their client and help solve problems for the intermediary who's your customer, you'll make sales. Okay? Once you start making sales, then it's the time to get commitments. Don't do all this work and then afraid to close them. ABC, always be closing. Okay? But only be closing if people look like they want to be closed. Understand? Okay? What does that look like? Positive statements about product or service. And they start talking, hey man, this I could really see myself doing X, Y, and Z. I could do this. I could cook burgers and fry fries at the same time. Yeah, roll with that. How many, hey, we could have this loaded up in your truck tomorrow. We could have it loaded up today. Yeah, we'll help you. Okay? All right. Ask who else bought the product. When they're starting to ask about other people buying the product or service, what are they thinking about doing? Buying the product or service. Okay? Build some momentum. They're asking permission to buy it. Who else is prescribing Corate for you? Well, the cardiologists all down at Regional are all doing this, and they found really good results there. It's testimony put in there, and I just gave them permission to write my stuff too. Okay. Ask about price, delivery, installation. I'm going to say ask about post-sale logistics. They ask them about post-sale, how fast can you ship it? How do you bill? Is this a payment program? Is this type of thing? Are they thinking about buying it? They've already taken that step. They're trying to figure out how to make it happen, facilitate it. All right, methods of payment. Delivery, billing, etc. All right. Begins to study or handle the product. This is a major sales approach with cell phone companies. You ever go into Verizon? What do they want you to do? Even in the pandemic, what do they want you to do? You go in there, and all these things are laying there and they're on. They want you to pick it up and play with it. They want you to pick up that iPad with the data plan. They have all the chargers there. They have all the cases there. Can you grab them? You think that's by mistake? Psychologically, if you take something off a shelf, you are probably 100 times more likely to buy it. If there's a concept there of a phone, is that harder to sell? Yeah. But if there's the brand new iPhone sitting there and you can go play a game on it real quick, you're going to buy it. Okay? If they appear to relax, keep in mind, we started with resistance, there's body language there. If they say, that's an interesting thing, tell me more. They start like walking towards you or start doing that type of thing, is that a good sign? Yeah. Begins to interact more intentionally with the salesman. I'm going to say starts to act natural in their interactions. Okay, I've seen 100 times. I've ever seen it once. Okay, if you relax around me and you're like, you've already made the sale. If you're constantly like the guy at the kiosk in the mall is trying to spray you with stuff or sell you like a model airplane or something, okay, you avoid that person. You literally are like, no, just don't even touch me. Get away from me. All right. But if you walk up to them and say, hey, tell me about this, is that a different set of signals? Okay. It's I would say I miss it because a hard sell where somebody's very rigid with you and they let up, you know, they let up, they quit being so like guarded and they say, oh yeah, tell me more about that. Ooh, show me that product, show me that keychain, show me this. Okay, that's a good sign. Now if they're continuously rigid, it might be time to get out of there. Okay, I'd say I miss it, but I get to see it every semester when I teach y'all something. Usually when we start up, you know, especially in the econ classes, eyes on me. And the whole deal, I will fail. You remember that? Okay. You're little spankers, tight. Okay. Did you walk in here nervous today? No, because I already sold you on me. I see it. Just relax. Just relax. It's always like I used to. I'm glad I don't have to come up here in the summer and do orientations anymore. I get to pack and all that for it. Every now and then I come speak. But these little. Anybody have me as like their advisor, like from the first summer session on? No.
You were my advisor, but you had too many sauce swaps.
I did what?
You were my advisor at one point, but you had way too many.
So the first time you walked in, you had me. How nervous were you?
Very.
How nervous are you talking to me now? You'll send me like text of your dog. Why? Yeah, I've sold me to you, you sold you to me, and we're both now. No big deal. No big deal. And y'all feel like any trepidation of like emailing me over the weekend.
I don't think you want to read anything else.
Well, that's just courtesy. But if something were going on, you needed me, would you get in touch? You trust me? We have a relationship. You know I have this experience, so I'm just trying to teach you that sales isn't what people think it is. It's much simpler. Just listen. It's the same thing that you have with positive relationships in your life. Okay? I sold you. Why do you like straight out of the gate or no?
What was that?
Did I have you as an advisee?
Oh, no. I had a Dr. Bradley before she retired. friend and you made her cry and then she dropped out, so. Oh,
I remember that.
Nikki?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't like me for some reason. I couldn't tell her. I got the hell out of it. Can't sell them all. Was that, tell me more, because I had no clue what
She
happened.
was failing her class and she came up to you, you were a riser, and she was asking you for advice, and you told her that she wasn't doing a good job or something.
Oh, that's
And
somebody
she-
else. I was thinking of somebody else. That happens.
And then you
Or
told her
had
that
like
she
a
might as well
13
drop it, and then she cried, and you're like, well, get out of my office, you're just going to get me pregnant.
No, see, no. Does that sound like me? Or does that sound like she's embellishing a little bit?
Sometimes so.
I took get out of my office, but not because they were crying.
I think you kind of lost.
Wait. I just direct deny that. Do you understand that? That didn't happen. Not like that.
I mean, she did drop out, so.
Stuff happens. Whoops. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some, right? What'd I tell you? 99 out of 100 are gonna tell you what? If you can change that to 2, 3, 4, 6, 25, you're a rock star as a salesperson. If you can take 99 out of 100 saying no, you can make a living on one. You're gonna work a lot harder. But if you can take 100 and get 25,